Welcome back to the Better Call Sukan Podcast. Better Call Sukan adalah sebuah podcast di mana kita membincangkan tentang pelbagai-bagai jenis sukan. Hello everybody. Here I am again. I'm your host Arif Daniel and I am not alone today. Macam biasa, saya tak berseorangan. Today I have a different person today. With me by my side. Can you just say hello sikit, bagi suara sikit?
Hello.
Uyo. Okay. So I would introduce to the listeners and the viewers siapa guest host I pada hari ini. Welcome to the show, Mr. Nick Augustine.
Hello, thank you. It's great to be here.
Oh, we shake hand.
Oh, shake hand.
Salam
okay.
sikit. Thank you for being with me. Basically, Nick, kita dah this episode lah.
Yeah.
For you, tak tahu kenapa, why we've been like postponing, we've been changing dates.
Yeah.
Kita nak meeting pun kita tak jadi. I don't know why, but eventually we got here.
Yes.
We are here today to speak about what actually, Nick?
Well, we're here to speak about bare bow archery, and I'm going to introduce you to our guest.
Okay. Bare bow archery.
Bare bow archery.
Dia macam bear with me lah, macam tu, bukan? So it's an archery lah.
Yes, archery.
Archery, but it's a side. It's not the archery. Okay, tak apa.
We let him talk.
We let him talk. Kita sembang dengan dia nanti. Okay, Nick. Would you mind to like introduce to the listeners and viewers who is our guest for today?
Of course. So, our guest today is Riyad Form, representative of bare bow archery Malaysia and also Asia.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Riyad. Apa khabar?
Thanks for having me.
Tak ada hal. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you for being here.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Tak ada hal. All good. So, basically kita nak sembang pasal about bare bow archery lah kan. But before that, Nick, before we go to like we speak about bare bow archery or archery, sebab archery also it's first time. This is the first time ever in Better Call Sukan that we have an archery in the sport, which is I think it's everyone knows about archery, but kita tak pernah panggil archery actually. We want to know a bit about the person himself, like your sporting background. Macam mana the seorang Riyad dah diceburi suddenly you yourself tiba-tiba masuk dalam bidang archery. So boleh cerita a bit, maybe both of us want to know about that.
Okay, hi. So thank you for having bare bow as a part of the Better Call Sukan.
Yes. Okay.
As a person, I think I can describe myself as a sports lover. Okay. So I'm from not really kampung background, but it's a rural area.
Okay.
So I think we are different generation.
Different
so
je tak. Sama ya abang. Kita baru sama je.
So 80s and 90s generation.
Different. Okay.
So our sport is based on whatever we seen on the TV.
Yalah.
So if everybody's on football, so semua orang akan main
minat bola lah.
Bila Malaysia 1988 menang Thomas Cup, so everyone kat kampung akan beli racket and everything.
Itulah dia. Macam mana archery ni? I can't wait for that.
So basically it's based on dekat kampung apa yang ada.
Okay.
So bila I masuk sekolah, apa sukan yang ada, so biasanya saya try semua.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so saya boarding school di Ipoh. So if
Ipoh.
you know Perak ni is actually a sports state.
Okay, yes.
So no state yang ada really good environment of hockey in Malaysia. So the tournament and everything semua ada di sana.
Okay.
So I try everything. Then I change to another boarding school in Kelang.
Okay.
So I get opportunity to learn about cricket.
Ooh.
You play cricket.
So it's a quite funny thing because the coach know that I played hockey.
Okay.
So the school is 2 years, so don't have time to train proper for cricket. So you can hit the ball with stick, then you come in.
Wah,
The
yelah.
cricket
Dia,
is just-
dia memang ambil je lah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So at least I have the opportunity to learn about the sport itself.
Okay.
So until the university time, I think the only opportunity that I miss is playing rugby.
Okay.
Because no sports in school. Sekolah yang saya belajar ada rugby, so saya tak ada peluang.
Oh.
So bila masuk universiti ada kawan-kawan yang main rugby,
Yes.
tapi I think it's too late to crush my all the ribs and everything.
Okay.
So I think I no need to. So the sport always, of course, football. So as a Malaysian, it's always football.
Yes.
And during the early years of futsal, during 1998, futsal start to come in. So the first futsal court, I think in PJ, Misa futsal.
Okay.
So I have a chance to play there, and I think that the time where futsal come in, and coach are really difficult to find the football field player.
Okay.
So futsal getting very viral that time, and almost every office have the futsal teams, but I keep playing both, and until I managed to have my own football team and futsal team. So I managed my teams, and then someone picked me up to manage the league itself.
Okay.
Okay, and up to until I managed to have opportunity to manage a M5 league
Okay.
in 2019. But the next season didn't go well because of COVID-19. Then the stories changed everything.
Okay.
After COVID-19.
So, Nick, we've listened and we heard about Mr. Riyad's story. So basically daripada hockey.
Yes.
Lagi tadi?
Daripada bola, badminton.
Everything seems like.
Yeah, cricket,
Yeah.
futsal and all. They manage a team also. Tapi tak ada cricket. Tak ada cricket. Tak ada
Archery, yes.
Archery saya belajar sebelum around 2009.
Okay.
Because I know archery because dulu di dalam TV every 2 years, every 4 years you had the SEA Games, ada Olympics, ada Asia Game, all broadcast in the local TV. So I know about archery already, tapi I don't know how to play it, where to go.
Tak pernah main.
I know how they calculate the score and everything. Bila I dah get into work, so I have my own money, so I think I want to learn. So I find a coach in 2008, I think. So I find a coach, learn. But just I want to, because I know this sport is like it's a weapon.
Okay.
So you cannot just shoot all the way. So you need to have a coach and learn what's the ethics, what the protocol and everything. So I learned. Then it's a sport that I shoot rarely.
Okay.
I go to sometimes I go to the indoor archery. So just.
So when did you ever started to like mula minat atau suka terhadap?
Okay, so seriously in like hockey also, I used to play once a month if some friend call me. So actually it's same like that. The most frequent is futsal and football, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually it's just like maybe like snooker. So people, old friend come, let's have
social, santai-santai.
Let's have a frame or.
I don't know how you do that, man. Archery is so hard, you know. Like when you pull that bow, you have to make sure everything's correct, you know.
Yes.
Because I do a bit of archery as well. When you did archery, it was recurve, right? Recurve, like the one non
yes.
right?
So that time I don't really into performance archery. It just for
performance archery.
What's that?
It's just for fun.
I
just shoot. I know to shoot it safely. I know how to not to kill anyone.
Yelah. Dia ada juga archery yang dia punya panah dia tak tajam pun kan.
Yes, it's a combat archery, so it's different. So we will talk more about the archery after this.
So begitulah your introduction towards sports in general dan macam mana you masuk ke dalam bidang archery during COVID. You said COVID
during
changed.
COVID, after COVID you know,
dia tak boleh
all the footballer getting mental health issue.
Betul. Sebab kita tak boleh
play.
contact sport tak
You
boleh.
cannot play.
Ah.
So suddenly I find some of my friends have online tournament during COVID.
Online tournament.
They shoot in maybe 5 or 6 meters.
Tembak dekat laptop screen.
No, they shoot at their home 10 or 5 meters. And get the score and submit online. So the whole Malaysia submit the score and say no, who is the highest.
So they just put in the score. And
there's an online apps.
Okay.
So
ini archery lah.
yes.
Uish.
So actually in archery, COVID-19 is a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
Because the boom after COVID is
memang naik lah.
Quite naik. Compared to before COVID, you rarely know who is archers in Malaysia.
Oh, so sebab I do understand because when COVID we can't have the contact sports and all.
Yeah.
So that's why ni kan dia boleh kita contact pun kita pegang dengan the alat dia, the tools je. So that's why they spread lah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm so interested to actually tahu kenapa, like how do you, so basically untuk main archery masa time COVID tu, you kena ada the tools lah, right?
Yes.
The equipment. So memang
because
you have the equipment before lah.
In 2009, 2008, when I get into the coaching punya course, saya
For
belajar
archery?
For archery.
Oh, masa 2009?
2008, 2009 already I get a course to learn how to shoot archery with one proper coach lah.
Oh, bukan COVID-19 yang...
No. This one is...
No, he started all the way at 2008, 2009. Then he kind of do it sometimes, but not really. Until 2019, that's when he went full. He went full into it. Because like, I mean, COVID, it's like you can't do football, hockey. You do so many of these amazing sports, you know. But this one is a solo sport. In fact, social distance is better.
Memang kena distance kan.
And you get connected with the whole Malaysia, not even world community. And you can compare with your score with the international participant. So that's where the contact with the Asian community get started. So it's until 2000, I think 2020, end of 2021, the conventional tournament started again. So we already have a bigger community than before. So that's where all started. So I have some sports management skill in me. So I think I can contribute some to the...
Then and you Mr. Riyad yang membangunkan dan started this whole community.
Not me. The community is already there.
Cuma you meneruskan.
It's like it's not moving
as
fast as it should. And previously in 2018, when I still in this football and futsal, I took a professional certificate. In sports business management. In Simla, So that time when the TMJ view to privatize the whole football scenes, so the target is there will be more clubs and there will be a CEO. So my dream that time, I want to be CEO of a football club. So I learned. So that's where the management of the sports came in. I learned more about the legality, the governance, and also the business aspect of the sports. So
nak tahu from the sports itself and then the behind of it untuk nak make sure. You need to have that kind of knowledge in order for you to like build something. So it's really nice for you to do it. And also, Nick,
and I get to know your former host Kai during my course. We invite him for...
he's everywhere. Dia sekarang dah merentas ke mana-mana dah. I'm sure he's listening. So with our previous host Carl. Carl. He hope you're doing okay. Maybe he's in Morocco ke apa, tak tahu lah dekat mana sekarang ni. So dia tengah jelajah dunia basically. That's why he's not here with us today. Okay, sekarang ni kita ada ni, we have depan kita usually kalau I buat show, in front of me is empty and then it's just a laptop yang tunjuk time. Tapi dia tengah pause sekarang ni masih time tu. Also, and then ada like cameras and all that lah. But actually in between all that, we have Mr. Ria has brought his tool kat sini. So
equipment.
Oh, equipment. Tool lain.
Equipment, you know.
Equipment. Sports equipment. So it's basically it's not a cricket thing. It's not a football. It's archery lah.
Yes.
Because this is what we want to speak about, right? So before nanti we can boleh pegang.
Boleh.
Okay.
You touch it first.
Okay. So we want to know about sebab this is the first ever archery dekat dalam battle course sukan. Boleh tak explain kepada macam contohnya orang yang tak pernah dengar langsung, yang macam dia ada je orang tak pernah tahu what is archery kan. Sebenarnya can you just explain brief before kita masuk in this category of babo archery. So what is archery actually?
Archery, if you know the root word is arch, is something curve. So it's reflect to the trajectory of the arrows and the curve of the bow.
I did not know that.
Oh, I did not know that. So archery tu arch. Oh,
that makes sense.
So dia punya arch tu adalah dia punya.
So everything is arch in archery. The bows, the trajectory of the arrows. So that's where the root would come. And it's actually a ancient sport. It's an ancient sport.
Yes.
So since I think it's not 2,000 or 3,000, it's about 10,000.
Yelah, sebelum pistol wujud, kita memanah kan?
Yes. All way back.
All way back. Before pistol, they all use this.
It's the first weapon that human, maybe after throwing stone, maybe.
Correct.
The second. So it's in every civilization.
Yes.
Have its own archery. So even in our in Islam also, even our Prophet also acknowledged that it's not invented by Islam, but he said, your forefathers during his Prophet time, your forefathers is archers, so keep going. So it's 1,000 of years. Even the technology also, the Romans and the Byzantines, they even the current technology already invented in Roman time. For example, the arrows have an aerodynamic shape. You saw the arrow is just one straight line, right?
Yes.
But it's actually there's a what do you call it, tapered.
Yeah.
Tapered. What is tapered?
So tapered. So like it's thick on one end and then goes thinner on the other.
Yes. So that's technology is back to the Roman time.
Dan tapi actually, the archery tu when you explain, it's about senjata and all. Tapi bila dia berpindah ke sukan,
it's not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. So,
sekarang ni masih.
So what I was saying that the things in the past 1,000 of years still valid now. So the how to taper the arrows. So how the limb reflects. This is we call limbs. How the limb reflect. So it's still the same since 1,000 of years. Maybe the material and the accuracy of the product is different now. Okay, and I think the most of the civilization have their own story of the archery in the community. And to say in Malaysia, I think we have some unique gaps in the history. Like Turkish, their archery history is continuous. In Korea, the history is continuous, and also in the Magyars, and also some of English archery, their archery is continuously practice in their country.
Yang itu dah masuk sukan lah kan?
Belum lagi.
Ni dia practice as what? Like
I mean
sebagai senjata
past of 100 years, they use as fun, also as a weapon in the war. So they have the tradition. They keep using it continuously until now. Okay. But for Malaysia, I think for this region, the Nusantara region, I think because if you read the history, our region get exposed to the gunpowder much earlier than the European and also the rest of the world, because we are close to China.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a gap that if you ask orang-orang tua kita, kita susah nak tanya pernah memanah ke dulu. Cerita tu tak ada. Even my atuk pun
tak memanah, kita sumpit.
No.
Yang
even my grandfather, I have a story. He already have rifle, I don't know, senapang or swivel gun and anything. The story that he shoot. This is story of 100 years ago. So it's very rare in this region, except in Java, that we have a story of our forefathers using bows and arrows.
So macam mana bow and arrow ni datang?
So because this region since the Malacca time, we already have playing with the guns, the RPG like guns, the Lela Rentaka and everything. So we are more advanced.
Yeah.
So the usage of the bow is a bit not really kurang.
So that's why dia masuk ke dalam bidang sukan.
That's why dekat sini kita ada gap sikit dalam history untuk kita menggunakan archery tu in our lifetime lah.
Okay.
Except for hunting and everything lah. So until I think the gap in modern archery, archery firstly came into Olympic is around 1920s.
Yeah.
I think the second or the first or the second. But during that time, all country have their own archery.
Ada atlet sendiri.
Yes. So when they came together, they have different perspective, different rules, different types. So archery survived in Olympic only for two or three edition. From the first one, 1920 something. So after that, because of the inconsistent of the rules, and this country want to play like this country want to bowl like this.
Okay.
So Olympic take it out from the Olympic.
Tapi dah sekarang dah ada balik kan?
So it start again in 1972 in Munich.
Okay, kita
so when the
we're almost there.
Yeah, okay. So it's getting more modern.
Okay, yeah, we're almost there.
So 1972. So because the World Archery, the FITA by that time. So football FIFA. So archery is FITA.
FITA
is tiro. It's a French word for archery. FITA. Tiro.
Federation International.
It's a French word.
French word.
It's French word. Okay.
FITA a tiro.
FITA. That's Italian. Sorry.
No, okay.
So tiro is archery. Arrow. Tiro is arrow. So it's a FITA. So it's to easy compare with FIFA.
So they
already have the association and have all the rule completed already.
Okay.
So they get back into Olympics in 1972. So that's where in Malaysia because if you know performance sport in Malaysia is really much reflect what in the Olympics.
Betul.
So if the sport is not in the Olympics, so it's really
dia kurang sikit lah. Kurang orang nampak.
So our national association also formed after that, and because I think in 1976 SEA Games, 1975 is I forgot around that time.
Yeah.
So before that,
70-an lah basically.
70-an.
Okay.
So group of army and some archers, they group to form the national association because they want to participate in the SEA Games. So that's where I start. But the growth is very slow until 80s. Only few can count by athletes. You can the community can know each other.
Okay.
80s. I think until 2000. I think until COVID. So the community is quite small.
Oh, okay.
So even those who enter the Sukma also, it's a close community.
Okay. They're small, okay, but it's there. Tapi do you mind telling? Thank you also for sharing that.
It's 1,000 of years now.
1,000 of years kepada pendengar and the viewers. Kenapa macam kita nak? He needs to say all that because he has to cram everything to say about the history of it. Tapi boleh tak bagi tahu actually kepada kalau orang tengah memasak ke, tengah dalam train, tengah dengar us, can you just explain dengan cara hanya dengan audio saja macam mana archery ni main? Pegang something ke shoot something ke? Yeah, because just now you said the ancient, you said the history. Not how it's being played. Yeah,
it's a precision games.
Okay,
where you try to hit the center of the targets. That's all. The closer to the target, the higher marks.
Distance wise, tak kisah.
Distance, of course, if you compete, you need to have the same distance with your competitors.
Okay.
That's a simple one.
Okay, I sebab I tengah fikir kalau I tengah dengar ni. Okay, so basically you just have to, dia ada target, you kena shoot the target.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all.
You hold the bow, you pull the string. Oh wait, you hold the bow, put the arrow in the rest, pull the string back, and let it go.
Yeah,
and then
so the closest to the center of the target is the win.
That's how. That's basically. Adakah dia indoor, outdoor?
It's have indoor, outdoor, and also we call it field archery, where you shoot in the
grass,
like golf course.
Golf course.
You have a course, and that's a different.
Oh, too different. Okay.
Like, is it like raised and stuff?
Yes.
Also, it's like not even lah.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
It's big. It's big. I tell you, the sport itself is big.
Yes,
so I try to not to cram everything.
That's why. That's sebab kita tak even sembang pasal the main topic itself, which is bebo archery. So senang cerita, I tahu like contohnya, I ingat lah. I thought like your answer like contohnya why you got into archery is by watching Lord of the Rings, Legolas main kan. Yeah, but
mine was Hawkeye when I was a kid.
Hawkeye ke apa kan.
Tapi before that was Hunger Games.
Oh yeah.
When I watched Hunger Games, I was like, I want to be like Katniss. That looks so cool.
I did.
So I thought that, tapi tak ada. Dia memang like he memang tahu like the about the sports itself by not watching movies. Okay, understand. Okay, so dah tahu pasal archery, and then like contohnya basically siapa hit target the closest menang. That's all lah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Bebo archery pula.
Okay.
Macam mana pula ni?
Okay, during the first re-entry of the archery into Olympics,
yes.
So the rules keep changing. So when you have many countries, they discuss what's the rules.
Yes.
Because the fairness of the game should be there.
Okay.
So they don't want some other equipment have another more advantage than the rest. So that's what sport is all about, right? So what I can say is the bebo now is what in 1972 bow is.
Oh, sama?
Yes.
Boleh
so the Olympic now,
just touch it, just do it.
Olympic now it called the recurve division. So bebo is another division.
Okay.
So recurve in 1972 is almost like the bebo division now.
Wait,
okay.
So bebo division is in the Olympics now, is it?
No.
It's not. Recurve only, yeah.
Okay. Can the guest ask the host?
Ask the host.
Okay.
Ask away. Host knows everything.
What's the difference with the Olympic archery equipment and this?
Oh, let's ask.
Let's ask.
Let's see what do you know.
Okay, first we touch first lah. We touch first.
You just want to touch it.
What you have in mind about Olympic archery? And different to this one.
Okay.
What you saw in the TV.
Sebab so basically archery tu kat Olympic bukan bebo archery.
Bukan.
This is bebo archery. I can't bear with myself about answering this question. I cannot lah.
You're being unbearable.
The obvious one you think different from
dia bear B-A-R-E bukan B-E-A-R
No.
bukan Okay. Okay, bukan beruang lah. Okay. So, honestly, I tak tahu. So that's why you are here to tell me what is happening.
So if you see the life in the Olympics, if you really look at the finals live and everything, so the equipment is different. You can see that there's a one long bar in front of it.
Okay.
There's a V bar.
Okay.
Yeah, so he will put it here. And there's a V bar.
Okay, to the listeners, he just said that the arrow, is it?
No, the equipment, the bow itself.
Okay, the bow itself.
In Olympics, there's one long stabilizer, they call it.
Okay.
If you look at the life in Olympics,
okay,
there's a long stabilizer.
Okay,
and also there's a side pin. Side pin to marks the aim.
Oh, okay. So contohnya before kena target tu ada macam aim dulu lah.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a equipment to put in the pin so the archers
can see through that
to shoot.
Okay.
And so it's not here in Bebo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Olympics use what's it called, releases as well?
No.
They don't use release, right? Okay.
That's a recurve archery.
Okay. So
basically, Bebo is a reduced accessories of Olympic archery.
Yeah.
They simplified lah.
Not simply bare.
They bring it back to what it was, right? So kind of like what he was saying, right? It's all these accessories to help the archer.
Okay.
So if you have the stabilizers used to, when you pull back a bow, right? You know, Newton's law, every force has equal opposite reaction. So when you pull it back, it wants to go up, right? Well, no, not exactly, but it does want to do that. So the stabilizer basically makes a counterweight.
And also reduce the vibration.
Yeah. Oh, does a recurve has a stopper as well? Because compound has a stopper.
No, recurve.
Okay, we can.
You can use stopper, but usually they don't use.
Actually, I nak tanya, archery ni dia ada banyak categories ke, like contohnya like football is the main, like if football ada 11 and then there's football sevens and then futsal and then futsal turf and then there's a
foot golf.
Foot golf and all. So for archery is the main, and then
archery
ada bebo pula. Maaf ya kepada pendengar-pendengar bebo archery. I'm not disrespecting you guys. I really want to ask, betul ke adakah bear tu BARE ke? Bear, so archery, and then ada anak the smaller is bebo archery, and then ada lagi tak?
Ada 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 division in
5 division.
The governing body is the FITA, now called renamed as World Archery.
Okay.
Under World Archery there's a 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 5 divisions.
5 divisions. Okay, do you mind telling?
The first one is the recurve archery.
Recurve archery
in Olympics.
In Olympics. Okay.
What you saw in Olympics is a recurve archery.
Okay.
And then the compound archery.
Compound archery.
Compound archery is the newest invention in archery, because it have the wheel cam and the stoppers and the magnifier of the side pin.
Okay.
So it's the most modern technology.
Okay.
in archery. So compound archery. So it's the most precise and most highly precise division. And then come to bebo archery.
Bebo archery,
which is the simplest thing, is the stripped down version of the recurve archery.
Okay.
And there is a traditional archery.
Wow. Okay.
But put in quote, the traditional archery and the world archery is actually the traditional recurve.
Okay.
It's more reduced than the bebo.
More reduced than bebo. Okay.
And then longbows. Longbows is where the English types of.
So basically, like the bebo, longbow. So dia punya the bow lah yang different.
Yes.
But all these 5 variants of sports ni, the target is the same lah. The closest to the the how to win is the closest to the target, you win.
Yes. That's called target archery. Target archery, so you have a same distance, same target face, we call it. So the bebo distance is shorter than the recurve archery.
Okay.
And the traditional and the longbow much shorter than the bebo.
Okay.
So if you put all the level of the hardness to play, is of course the longbow, because it's don't have all the curve
Okay.
And don't have the curve, so the pulling is much harder.
Nak tanya yang dekat mall dekat our country yang ada berapa 10 saja. So itu archery apa sebenarnya?
There's some kids bow, some traditional recurve. So you cannot say exactly what it is.
That's for fun, recurve, archery.
So it's recurve.
Actually it's fun archery.
Because if you look at recurve, it means that it's recurving. If you look at the limbs, for those who are in audio, right, the rims of limbs the curve go up.
When we pull, it becomes straight, then it recurve back into this shape.
While longbow is just kind of, there's no curve. It's just, it's curved on the other side. Doesn't go the other way.
So the shape,
the
shape help us to pull the bow.
Oh, yeah.
So actually a lot of technology in the archery.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at this one, it's this aluminum?
It's airplane aluminum.
Airplane
standard.
aluminum, yeah.
It's a T series aluminum.
Okay. And then the limbs, which is the ones that actually you put the string, is carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber and also foam.
Yeah.
For only specific for bare bow lah. All bows actually.
Depends.
It's
like car lah. Sometimes some car got this kind of engine, kind of engine.
The material technology evolved now. Yeah. Even the Korean use graphene. Graphene material for the bows, for the limbs.
Graphene is it's like similar to carbon fiber, but more thinner and stronger and stuff like that.
So it's nanotechnology already.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I hope the listeners are understanding also. Because sayang lah kalau you try to get back because like it's a very interesting topic actually to understand about this. About kalau it's too that if you cannot catch up, and if you need, we will try to just help you to the listeners to understand how bare bow archery is. So kita recap balik kepada yang pendengar and yang penonton, kita recap balik simple. Archery is the main sport.
Yes.
Archery divides. Yeah, because just now you ask me kan, what's the difference kan? So archery is the main sport.
Yeah.
Dia tak menggunakan tangan untuk shoot the target arrow tu. Kita menggunakan an equipment. So nama dia bow. So bow tu kita letak arrow dekat macam cerita Hawkeye, Legolas, ada Lord of the Rings semua.
I upgrade your knowledge.
Yes.
So it's not just put the arrow. In archery, we knock the arrow.
Knock the arrow.
N-O-C-K.
Yeah. Boy, I can already. Okay, so kita, you also can. You knock the arrow on the
string.
Then you lock it, tarik, and then you hit the target. Yes. Betul?
Yes.
Okay. I think the listeners and the watchers are also with me. Kita sama-sama. I jangan tinggalkan I seorang. So, then after that, archery ni dia bahagi kepada 5 dalam World Archery Federation lah.
This is only for target archery.
For target archery.
Yes.
Target bukan yang naik kuda dan itu different
Yes.
Tak ada ke sport? There is. Okay, kita stop dulu.
But not quite a lot.
Okay.
It's a target archery, or our local archers like to call it ground archery.
Ground archery. Okay.
Or static archery.
Okay. Tak bergerak lah.
Yes.
So ada 5 dalam this ni. So the first one is recurve. Recurve adalah basically recurve tu dia punya bow lah, yang recurve tu. And then after that kita ada compound. Okay. Compound.
Yeah.
Compound archery.
Because the wheel.
There's a pulley system at the end.
There's a pulley system at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have this one lah, bare bow archery, which is a bit simplified version from the recurve. And then we have a traditional archery.
Okay.
And then last we have longbow. So itu adalah recap actually of like the whole archery ni. So if you're listening to this, you eventually know lah sedikit.
It's not super sedikit. I think you now open up to the more the infos about archery. It's open up.
You know more. Bukan sampai sikit. You know more.
Now you can choose which one you want to go to. You know.
And the one yang dekat shopping mall semua adalah fun archery, santai-santai. Dia bukan specific. Dia cuma maybe the closest that Riyad says is
recurve.
Traditional or recurve. Okay, understand. Okay, sekarang ni anything you want to ask or add for the Bebo in general before we ask about his community, Nick?
Why you want to make your life so hard? That's my question. You know, because I think recurve archery in itself is already a hard sport to get into. Not saying you shouldn't get into it, like you should, you know, but it takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of consistency, you know, there's a lot of hard work as well. I think like most sports. But you have a lot of the accessories when you do recurve that is very helpful. The stabilizer, the sights, everything. Why would you want to go back into basically the dark ages? You know, like nothing. The dark ages. Way before, you know, where it's just like, I just see it and then I shoot, you know? Why?
Okay, it's depend on the environment also. Because like I said, COVID is do something to most of us.
Okay.
So the situation there, I think I cannot play football and futsal now because of the injury.
Okay.
So I think this is the best choice because I also don't like to go for running, also for cycling.
Same. Understand. Okay.
So I think and the attraction is actually the community itself. So the community is I was in the football and futsal. I know the community. You know the naughtiness of our friends in football. You know.
Okay.
But in archery, the community is different. Something that I want to.
Tapi dekat Malaysia ni dia ada like you basically kepada pendengar Mr. Riyad is actually wearing a shirt. Says Bebo Asia. He is as a representative from Bebo Asia and Bebo Malaysia. So dekat Malaysia or Asia, ada ke recurve Asia? Ada ke longbow Asia? Yeah.
Okay. Longbows is it's not really there in Malaysia.
Tak ada lagi. Okay.
Because the equipment also
susah nak cari.
A bit expensive because mostly come from Europe.
Okay.
And traditional, there's a two type of traditional, where the term by World Archery, the traditional by World Archery, and also there's a traditional that the most of the Asian use it.
Okay.
So they want to put it aside.
Okay.
So they have their own communities, but the traditional by World Archery also seem like longbow. It's very less. I mean the community is not there here in Malaysia.
Okay.
And Bebo, because obviously it's cheaper than recurve because less of equipment.
So memang Bebo ni paling affordable kalau nak join.
Affordable is a long stretch.
Stretch,
but it is cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper because no stabilizer, no sights, and
this is it lah.
Yeah. And then obviously the arrows.
The arrow. Yeah.
And one more thing is recurve is too competitive, and because you need to compete with kids.
Yeah.
So it's in the MSN program. So if you are at the age of 28 or 30, you are actually too late to compete with the rest of the kids who are aiming for SUKMA, aiming for
so Olympics. Yang dekat SUKMA and the one SEA Games, the one in Olympics, they don't have Bebo.
Bebo can compete in recurve, but you will have your shortage in the advantage.
You can bring your bow.
Yes,
you can bring bow and you can join them.
Yes.
Tapi diorang lebih atas punya equipment, diorang lebih fully function
because they have a side pin. Side pins help very much.
Ya, dia aim tu kan. Side pin tu ialah macam target.
You cannot. The only thing the option you have for the aiming is only your point of arrow.
Tarik nafas, baca bismillah and harap sampai.
You saw the point of arrow, the end of the arrow. That's your aiming point.
Okay.
But for recurve, you have another side pin above, so you can adjust your side pin. If your arrow go to the right, adjust to the life.
Ada ke yang macam yang dia ni side sikit, tapi ada ke yang macam yang apa yang before you shoot tu you touch your finger at your tongue and then you tengok the angin tu. Because angin helps also, right? Because masa I watch like Olympics and all, dia ada tunjuk macam angin macam mana. So
yes. That counts.
Oh yeah.
But normally the for myself, the wind affect not the flight of the arrow. It's actually when we hold the bows. So if the wind is too strong, you can shoot your bow.
Itu bukan sebab arrow tu kadang-kadang.
Usually for the competitive, we already set the arrows to be faster. So when it go faster, it's less affected by the wind.
Okay. So the Olympics and all, like all the sports yang kita tengok on television and all, they recurve archery. Tapi if you have a bare bow, you can also join lah.
Yes, you could. But you must have more disadvantage than advantage. And the current years, the compound archery now will be included in the LA 28. So because the compound started in US, so in LA, so they fight for that. Then the compound archery now in Olympics. Because
also just want to add, kita sidetrack again. Malaysians, I mean, I personally when the Olympics ada, personally for me lah, I would love to watch archery sebab dia macam, first it's simple to understand the game. Like basically you have 3 hits and then you hit and then your opponent hit, you hit, then the opponent hit, and then it's really nice. And then surprisingly, maybe recent years the country is actually doing good. Tak adalah macam masuk hanya untuk participation, like they ada qualified to the next round and all. So this is what I saw nampak in recent years. Can you share like in detail like how it's actually, like you said, it's under MSN and all. Macam mana the growth of the athletes actually? I know it's a community. Your community is doing different, but from your perspective, macam mana archery in Malaysia?
I think archery in general, we need to know that in 2019, our archers are the silver medalists of the World Championship. Lost to the American Carol Anwar Muhammad. Is in the recurve. So he lost in the shoot off in the final.
Maknanya dah tie semua lah.
Yes.
Tinggal shoot
every
off.
tie, tinggal one arrow shoot off. He lost one arrow. So we are up to that level in 2019. So Carol, but it's not Olympic. It's a World Championship.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So that's how high we were. So
that's the highest lah. The sejarah archery dalam Malaysia, that's the highest.
The higher performance that.
Oh, that's good.
So and now Khairul is also doing bebo.
Okay.
So because his time as a MSN athlete, because he's quite the 30 plus.
Okay.
So during his young age, he keep on training. Now he's a bit relaxed, so he now try, because he want to get into the community. During his time as an athlete, he just training. He never
tak mingle
with the community of archery.
Cuma dia ada coach, dia seorang.
Yes,
itu saja.
Keep on training every day.
How about the ones yang there's few girls that represented?
They are 18, 19, very young.
Yang the ones yang pergi ke Paris. Yes.
So our first Olympian in archery is 2004, I think.
Okay.
Dr. Moridi. And then we keep on having athletes until now. At least one. So that's where the growth of the recurve. So the environment is usually 15 to 16, they already push to the performance.
Okay. So nak santai, kita main bebo.
Yes.
Okay.
So the coach also you have your athletes, and why not go for Bebo? So for Carol also, when he's already 30 plus, so he's not really in the contract and everything, so he have the freedom to choose. So he choose to try Bebo, and he's now the Bebo national record holder.
Record holder.
What's the record?
What's the record?
No, the score. Previously, it's our community when he came into Bebo. So he just break everything.
That's good actually. So Bebo, so everyone we recap balik to everybody, also to Nick. So basically, Bebo is a simplified version. So you go to range, we bring our own bows ke ada dekat range tu sediakan juga?
No, usually it's personalized.
Personalized. Okay, so we bawa
simplified equipment, but not simplifying the
technique.
So the technique and everything is much different from the recurve.
My question
will be for those who are shooting recurve will find it's quite take some time to shoot in Bebo because no side pin, no stabilizers.
My question also, kalau yang mendengar ini, the ones listening, the ones watching, diorang like they are interested to be a part and all. We didn't even sembang harga yet for this. We will get there. But do you guys open up? How do you make it grow? Bebo Asia, Bebo Malaysia. How do you guys make it grow like with orang yang luar?
It's not as simply as other sports. You can just come in like pickleball and also or the ping pong. You can just give the bat.
The bat.
Because the first thing in the archery, if you want to learn, you cannot just shoot. The first thing always the safety.
Okay.
The safety of it. So everyone need to understand the safety of it before you holding the bows.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a challenge because it's not just a easy entry into the sport.
Okay.
But we keep educating people on that. But once, even though it's a quite dangerous sport, but when everyone knows about the safeties, so actually you cannot find the news about there's a injuries because of the archery, because of the arrows, because everyone is really
Yelah memang tembak ke target je kan.
Yes. Memang the first thing is safety, always safety.
And where do Bebo Asia or Bebo Malaysia play?
Like me, if like football, if you play alone, people will call you crazy, right? If you play alone. So like
I baru je main seorang tengah-tengah padang, but okay.
Maybe a little bit crazy.
Maybe. We need to have that. Okay, then teruskan.
But for archery, I have a target. I have my bows. I just shoot alone, no problem.
Oh.
So it's more like if I can compare.
Target tu pun you can have it also lah. Boleh beli juga lah. Oh.
So it's like fishing. For those, some people say what you can stay there just waiting for the fish to eat the bite, right? But it's like Bebo, like archery. If you shoot, people will say, why are this guy tengah-tengah panas shoot?
Oh,
but so once you come in, you get addicted, then the rest is history.
Okay, I have another one. Sorry, Nick. First thing nak tanya before we shoot tu kan, adakah do we have to have time before we shoot? Contohnya when it's your turn and you shoot, you macam ada like before 10 seconds you need to shoot it ke apa ke, because that you have like contohnya for some sports, if I'm mistaken, like bowling ke apa, you kena still there's a time gap for you. So what's the time actually? Berapa second?
For the qualifying rounds, there's a 180 for 6 arrows. Because there's a qualifying round for target archery and then the elimination round.
Okay.
So the qualifying round is where you shoot your best arrows and get the rank. And then the rank used for the elimination round. So in the qualification round, usually the 6 arrows with 180 seconds.
Yes.
So you need to shoot within that particular time. And during the elimination rounds, the time is different because you shoot only 3 arrows.
Okay.
But the one that you saw in the TVs is we call it an alternate shoot. The alternate shoot
because
you shoot first and then me.
Alternate shoot.
Alternate, yeah.
Okay.
During the non-televised match elimination round, we don't shoot
alternate.
The alternate. You have one specific time, shoot 3 arrows and then count who wins. Because it's not a televised.
Because alternate, because it's more interesting, right?
Yes.
Because you're like, then we see.
They hit 8, so I need to hit 8 or more.
Yes.
Like that. Okay.
More drama lah.
Yes.
So there's more actually behind the TV actually. If you just watch what's in the final in the Olympics, it's actually the best of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's more behind it.
Then, wow. The next question is, kita nak tanya pasal expenses lah dalam ni. Nampak ni bukan ni, I tak pernah nampak this actually if you listeners, so in front of us we have a bow, and I don't believe that this bow is bought in like Decathlon ke Sun ke apa kan.
If you can buy this in Decathlon, I'll be quite impressed.
Yeah. So how do you all your community get first beli all this, and do you mind sharing how much do you guys spend?
We have a community where, of course, there's the resales and the second-hand market.
Okay.
So even for me, I start with the wooden bows.
Ada wooden.
The handle is wooden.
Okay.
And then when I think I can shoot better, so I sell the old one to anyone who want to start. And I buy a new one. So this is actually the third one.
Okay.
So if I find out the old one, I want to get to the new one. So I sell the old one and buy the new one. That's because I'm not the top archers.
Yes.
Some top archers get sponsored.
Ni community punya santai-santai untuk lepas geram.
Yes.
Where can you buy this? Like, can you buy it online? Is it
that's online. Yeah. But we in the archery community always encourage for newcomers not to buy online because there's a lot of criteria need to be considered before you buy a bow. So the best is you go to the archery range, just try it out. Then the coach or your colleague will advise. So you can start with this, we can start with this. If you're still new, you can use the kids one first, the training one first. And if you getting better, then you can consider to buy a new one.
And the range contohnya lah, kalau orang yang lepas dengar ni and they're like, okay, I really want to give it a shot. Like is it like berpuluh ribu ringgit ke?
No.
It's like adakah beratus ribu?
You can start with 200 and 300 ringgit. But it's a very entry level one.
Tapi dekat tu they don't rent like at the shooting range. They don't like
the rent one is usually at the fun archery.
Fun archery.
The fun.
Bukan bamboo lah.
No. In the shopping mall.
Yeah.
Because that one, if you throw the bow, they don't care much.
Yeah.
Because
it's very fragile lah basically the bow ni.
Yes, because of the price.
Okay.
And
so
also,
janganlah pegang sangat lah.
It's a very personal sport because I cannot use your bow, for example, because your arm
is different, your strength is different,
your wingspan is different than mine, right? So I might overdraw for you. I'm bigger than you.
Yes.
So I might use a heavier draw, which is like what's a normal draw weight?
30 to 40.
30 to 40 pounds. They say pounds.
Divide by 2 for kilograms.
So that is how many kilograms?
So if
30 is about 15 kg.
15 kg.
Thank you. 15 kilos.
Okay, betul lah.
The producers all looking at us like stupid. Yeah.
Okay. So 15 kg lah, average lah.
Agak-agak lah.
So and then kena pegang hanya satu tangan je kan? Because another hand you need to tarik.
Yes.
And you have to stabilize one hand.
Yeah. Wow. Also, what's very interesting is when I did archery is that you have a dominant eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
That in the shooting and even in the shooting sports,
yes.
You need to know where's your what do you call
dominant eye.
The left-handedness, the left-eyeness of your eyes.
Left-eyeness of your eye.
Okay. What you call it? We call it dominance eye.
Okay, faham. Okay, we have.
So if you never into shooting sports, you might never know about your dominant eye.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about the points. Dia memang the target tu sebab darts dia ada macam until 20 and then dia ada kali 2, kali 3. Yeah. For targets for babo or even archery ini adakah, and all these 5 categories all sama lah dia punya scoring system.
Yes.
So paling luar is 1, paling dekat 10. Is paling middle is 10 lah. Okay.
So it's only 12.2 centimeters the 10.
12.2 centimeters. Oh, kecil je lah.
And for recurve, you can imagine it's 70 meters away.
Okay.
Whoa.
And for babo, it's 50 meters away.
Oh.
So you just want your thumb as big as your thumb.
Wow. I believe that macam we would love to have you again to like actually share in detail because he has already told like a lot of things. And tahu-tahu like we're almost the end of the show. But before we end or before ni, I would just like to ask you like what's your goal and hopes of Babo Asia, Babo Malaysia in the community? What do you guys look forward to?
Okay. I know about the sports situation in Malaysia.
Yes.
So we always read in the news some issues in the footballs, salaries. We know about that.
Yes.
So, and archery is one of the Olympics listed in the under MSN.
Okay.
But for most of the parents, when you want your kids get into sport, is what's the future of it, right? So many choose football because they saw it in TV and everything.
Then simpler and all, yeah.
And archery,
easy access.
For those who put kids in the archery, is actually for their interest in the sports.
Yes. Okay.
But also they aim for the kids to be in Olympic and everything. But it's only every 4 years, only 3 people, only 6 people, the most for the country
to represent. Oh, competition is
yes. The competition is very stiff.
Okay.
And in recurve, the competition in the under 23 is very competitive. But after university years, usually those in the recurve archery, usually they stop everything because there's no.
Tak ada habis wakil and then dah habis.
Yes. Yeah. If he prepare much, go for coaching and everything, so they can continue in coaching. And many stop everything and do the get works and everything. So actually in archery is a lifetime sports.
Yes.
Even if you are 70 years old, 60 years old, you can still perform. It's about you. If you put in extra effort, you get better. So what we do in the Babo Malaysia and also Babo Asia is the continuity of the sport itself.
So maknanya kepada yang mana kat luar tu yang rasa yang they have all the recurve, they've done all that. So you continuekan diorang punya love towards. That's really beautiful what you are doing. And how is it growing actually, Babo Asia and Malaysia?
Babo is like I said, COVID-19 is a boom actually for archery itself, for the whole. And so Babo is a quicker choice. And also there's also traditional.
Yeah.
But it depends on your interest. You want to go more traditional, or you want to have some modern, not too modern. Okay. Okay. So because for those who are already 25, 30 years old, it's almost no hope if you go into recurve archery.
I'm sorry. You can't go into it anymore.
I can.
Like in Korea,
I can watch.
the most dominant country is Korea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in Olympics, so the archery in Korea is really what I can say. There's no casual archery for recurve.
Oh, memang semua kompetitif.
Yeah, since kid they already select the best of the kids, put it into one team, and even those who are not able to compete in Olympic, they change into coaching staff and everything. So there's no range for you to shoot recurve in casually. So Korea situation is very different from Malaysia, and that's why the Bebo is not really there in Korea.
Okay.
So Korea leading the World Archery Asia. So we are actually doing the Bebo Asia to convince World Archery Asia to actually put up the Asia Championship for Bebo. It's not yet there.
Oh, dekat Korea itu Bebo Asia ni, what countries are in Bebo Asia?
We have this coming July 3rd to 6th July, we are having our own Bebo Asia tournament.
Okay.
We have 13 countries.
13.
So,
is it ASEAN region or?
No, it's
Asia lah.
Asia. In 2023, we started with ASEAN country.
Okay.
We do it in MSN Nilai.
Okay.
So we have 7 countries, and then the rest of Asia
start join juga. Okay.
We want to get in. So Japan, China, India, Pakistan. So so we change from Bebo ASEAN to Bebo Asia.
Oh.
So last year, the first Bebo Asia tournament in Yogyakarta. So they have a very good sponsors there, and we create. There's a 400 in Bebo ASEAN in Malaysia was 300 archers. It's considered the largest Bebo only tournament in the world.
Oh.
So usually the archery tournament you will have the recurve, you have compound, you have Bebo.
Traditional.
So you can have around 500 to 600 participants.
Whoa.
But this one for Bebo only in Malaysia we have 300 for Bebo only. Last year in Yogyakarta we have 400 plus for Bebo only.
And this year? Where is the place held at?
Bangkok. This year in Bangkok. So it's already 400 plus.
Around Asia to join.
Around Asia.
Wow.
So what our intention is to show to the authorities, to the association that Bebo is here. Bebo, there's a Bebo here in Asia. So hopefully, because we don't want to take the responsibility to handle everything, because we just want to show that this is worth to.
Benda ni ada, kami ada di sini. Let us try take us. Alright. Nick, any questions you want to ask, or you are okay?
No, I'm great. Thank you.
Yeah. Alright. With anything else you want to add before we move to the final and last segment?
Okay, so pray for our national for Malaysia team, because we are not just a community. We engage with the National Archery Association of Malaysia.
Yes.
So pray for our participation in Bangkok this coming July.
Okay.
So we have our Olympian, Carol, also participate in the team.
Okay.
So hopefully we can bring back some medals for them.
Okay. Hope the best.
And next year will be our turn again. So we decide that after Thailand this year, then next year will be Bebo Asia tournament will be here in Malaysia. So a lot is coming up. So hopefully because Malaysia is among the easiest country to organize the tournament itself compared to Philippines now in the political issues.
Okay.
And some country have like Vietnam. The archery in Vietnam is binded by law, so they consider archery as a weapon. Even in Brunei. So they have.
So cannot play lah kat situ.
They can play, but to organize the big tournament,
tak boleh. Yeah. We just to share actually, last season or a season back for Better Call Sukan, we had a sport. It's called paintball.
Yes, so I was also in paintball for 1 year.
Oh,
so but I stopped because every shot is 40 cents. 50 cents.
So basically,
that's why I changed to this one.
At a certain time dulu, for this in this country, they cannot play because, like you said, against the law and all, because it became a weapon. So they stopped it actually for paintball punya industry and all.
I stopped because I
understand kalau some countries they kind of stopped that.
I remember that time when the paintball stopped a bit because of the legal issues, and that's why I'm thinking. Because it's a cost. Every shot is a cost. So that's why I learned to archery because every shot you can take back the arrows.
Okay, yeah, betul. Kalau orang kat luar sana nak dengar, want to know more or want to see, where do they follow? Where do they go?
We have our IG in Bebo Mai.
Bebo Mai, okay.
Bebo Mai in IG, and also Facebook group. Facebook group will be, we filter out. It's a private group.
Okay.
So we filter out those.
Kalau nak join boleh just request
because we don't want all the sales posting.
Betul.
So there's a Facebook group for Bebo Malaysia and also Bebo Asia. And so IG for Bebo Asia also there.
Okay.
And
where do they go actually? Kalau contohnya saya just a random person just want to go and just watch.
There's actually any archery range, indoor range. You can ask, I want to play Bebo. So
dia akan tolong lah, orang tahu lah. Yang shopping mall pun boleh pergi je lah.
Shopping mall is just a one-off thing. So,
okay. So kalau tanya abang yang dekat counter kat shopping mall tu, do you know Bebo?
Better you ask. Better you ask for any proper range.
Oh, okay. Where's the proper range actually?
There's
in Klang Valley actually.
Klang Valley is there's in Subang.
Okay.
Also one you call it clubs Nasiji Murni.
Okay.
In Subang Murni. So it's the Bebo quite big there.
Okay.
And also there's a indoors in KL Archer Studios in Ampang actually.
Okay.
And also Target Hub in Sunway Kayangan. And also in there's quite, but it's quite scattered. But it's not you can go anywhere, then you find one. You need to know exactly where is it.
Okay, so basically just follow Bebo Mai and you can, or Bebo Asia on socials, and
I think if you search in the Google Maps archery range, you can find.
Betul juga. You can also do that. Tapi I tengah promote your Instagram. Follow je lah Instagram tu kan.
Because you cannot find the info of the range.
No, it's okay. Just follow first. Just follow first. Then message you.
Then message you. Say, then you tell them. You Google. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing everything. We do hope your...
There's many more to share.
Yes, betul.
But the time is
against us. But we will go for a quick question. Okay. The last segment for you. Nick, do you have the questions with you? So we're going to go and tanya you one by one. So you just jawab je, itu ke atau ini. Alright, so I'm going to start first. This or that, the Bebo Archery version for today. For practice vibe, do you prefer intense focus or relaxed fun?
Relaxed fun.
Okay.
For practicing, do you prefer practicing solo or with a group?
With a group.
Alright. The bow maintenance, is it a ritual or a chore? Maintaining it. A ritual to maintain it or a chore to do it?
Chore. It's a chore.
Okay.
Archery story. The one you tell with pride or the one that taught you a tough lesson?
Tough lesson.
Tough lesson. Okay, the distance you prefer like up close and personal or long range challenge? Target distance.
We call it outdoor distance.
Okay. So long range
Yes.
Okay.
Music while shooting, absolutely or never?
Never.
Okay, your Bebo journey, is it like self-taught or coached?
Start with coach and then self-taught.
Okay.
What is your biggest distraction? Your own thoughts or external noise?
Money.
I like the answer.
That's real.
I like the answer. Okay. And
because I believe I can get more wisdom.
Itu distraction dia. Aduh, kalau aku letak lebih kepada this one. Okay.
At least you're not worried that if you shoot the arrow, it goes away. Then
the top performer archers in Olympics, the arrow set for 12. One piece of the arrow is cost around 150 per arrow.
Oof.
So mine is 15 to 20 ringgit only.
Okay.
Money.
That's the biggest question.
Money.
Okay, and the last question is, it's not this or that. It's just we want to know your personal quotes, kata-kata yang you simpan to yourself that keeps you going every day. Actually, that's what we do in Better Call Sukan.
My question.
Anything.
Yourself is your enemy.
That's yourself is your own enemy. Allah. Okay. Okay, thank you.
If you cannot overcome yourself.
Okay. Bukanlah kita nak enemy.
We don't compete with others. We compete with ourselves.
That's the quote. It's a very wonderful, beautiful, well quoted that you keep. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you to everyone for listening from start to the end. We appreciate everyone's feedbacks or anything. If you want to let us know, just follow Better Call Sukan on socials, and also don't forget to follow Barbo Asia, Barbo My. Do you want to promote your own personal socials?
We want to appreciate the sponsors, our sponsors.
Okay, yes.
Community sponsors.
Sponsors and also future sponsors.
Warung Sambal Special Taman Tun, Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, okay.
So they are Indonesian restaurant, but really support the whole Bebo Asia community.
Okay.
So they also support us, and also the Action 10 Arrows.
Asia 10 Arrows.
Action 10 Arrows is a local brand. Keep on supporting us. So,
alright.
And also we appreciate National Archery Association of Malaysia, because even though we know that they cannot carry us 100%, but they give the channel to us to participate in Bebo Asia, so without any hassle of protocol and everything.
Awesome.
So they allow us to represent Malaysia.
And we do, from Better Call Sukan, we hope that there is more like groups to support and giving you more sponsorship, because I believe what you all are doing, it's really bringing everyone together. Like once they're done with their professional, they can just join you guys. Can. So it's good that what you guys doing. I hope like there's more support, and all the best to everyone that is competing out there in among Asia.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, do follow Barbo Asia, Barbo My. If you want to have any more thoughts, atau of course, and obviously kita tak cukup masa untuk cerita from start to zero, from start to the end.
The sport itself, we didn't start. We didn't start yet about the sport.
Kita hanya surface, but it's actually like there's a lot to talk about. So if you guys want to know more, just do follow their socials and ask them. They can. I'm sure you are more than happy to share to any one of them out there. Yes. Also, kalau pasal that's for Bebo, if you have anything that you want to share more, contohnya there's a sport out there or whoever out there that you feel that they want to come here, or you yourself have a specific sport that you want to share with us, do let us know. Do follow us on Better Call Sukan on all social medias and let us know. We will definitely call you or call them. Nick, any questions or any final thoughts for you?
Any comeback to?
How do you feel?
Any potential to come back to archery?
No, to come back to archery. Yeah, I think I'll probably, now I'm getting back into the interest of archery. I think it's always very fun to, go on the range and nail the target. I think it's a wonderful sport. It's an addiction to nail the target, and also to have the discipline and the consistency that the bow brings. And it's also really cool. Don't you want to feel like Katniss Everdeen or Hawkeye or Legolas? Give me another one. What's another one?
I named another one, Ertugrul.
Huh? Which one?
The Ertugrul, the Turkish series.
at the series. Green Arrow. You want to feel like the Green Arrow?
I'll give you another one. Riyadh.
Riyadh, yeah. You want to be like him? Exactly.
No.
Come back. Come to archery. I'll go back
I will suggest the champions for this session.
Okay. You just have to like tell everyone awareness. Thank you for doing that actually. I rasa siapa-siapa yang mendengar ni will definitely actually learn something. And I appreciate so much for your sharing. Very specific and simple actually untuk orang faham. Thank you so much about that.
Thank you.
Any last words from you?
Let's shoot.
Let's shoot. Okay. Any last word from you, Nick?
Thank you for having me here.
Yes. Thank you so much for being my co-host for today as well.
Yes.
And really, it was really smooth lah. We straight away had a target and we shoot it terus.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much everybody. I'm going to wrap up the show.
Yes.
Alright, thank you so much. My name is Arif Daniel.
My name is Nick Augustine.
Riyadh.
And we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Audio Plus.